First day of school, huh? I know, so exciting. It's so nerve-wracking. It's totally normal to feel sick.
A year ago from today, I had just arrived in my placement, Dallas, Texas, and I was about to start American high school. I can tell you I was nervous. I don't even think it covers half of it.
And then imagine having your school start in another country for the first time. That's scary. But don't worry, we've done it before and we're here to help you.
How do you prepare as an exchange student for your first day of high school? I think that this is the question that many of you guys are asking yourselves right now, and I understand how stressful and how nerve-wracking it is to think about, but I'm here to tell you all about how my experience was and that it really is nothing to be scared about.
First of all, it's important how you dress because there might be dress codes, there might be just like norms and unwritten rules in that country that same in your home country, and I would definitely research this and I would read the school handbook to see if there's a certain dress code that you have to follow.
Obviously, every high school situation is going to be different. We have smaller high schools, we have bigger high schools. My high school was size of a 5A school, which had about 2,500 students, which was very big in my standards, but pretty average in America. I think every exchange student that walks into the school environment kind of expects the surroundings to be very fascinated with them and very interested in the exchange student, but the truth is that if you go to a really big school, they're not going to be able to tell you apart from any other student. It's not going to be a welcome committee that's going to like introduce you to every single student, because I mean there are simply too many. You have to kind of prepare your expectations so you don't think that the whole school is going to have like a welcome sign, because you're truly going to be treated like pretty much every other student out there, and I think that's okay.
I don't know if any of you have watched the movie Tall Girl on Netflix. I wouldn't recommend it, it's not really good, but the point is that there is a scene where a teacher like properly introduces a Swedish exchange student, and he like comes in front of the class and like, hey, I'm Stig, or what it was. Yeah, and I feel like in all other movies, not necessarily exchange students, but like new students are being like introduced like that, but I feel like in reality that is not the case at all. People don't really care that much about you, so that's kind of like my first warning. You will probably have to introduce yourselves, but maybe you can like talk to your teachers, hey, can you just like talk about me in the beginning or something.
You have to remember that people in American high school are just like anyone else. Like, they're not going to be super extroverted and super social just because they're Americans. It's going to take some time for them to warm up to you and to invite you to things, but you should not take that out on yourself. The only thing you should focus on is being happy, smiling, interested in what they're doing, and also ask questions and talk to as many people as you possibly can, because you have nothing to lose.
Be nice to all of your teachers, be really respectful. Where I come from in Sweden, we call our teachers by their first name because we just treat them as normal people, you know? But then when I went to America, you have to call all your teachers by their last name and Mr. or Miss or Mrs. as a title, because they have a higher level of respect than the students do. And I've heard in some countries the teachers call their students by the last name, but where I was, they just called their students by the first name. Make sure to be nice to teachers, because then they are going to be nice to you.
You have to go out of your comfort zone. I know it's so scary, and you're already, the first day is like pretty close to your arrival date probably, so you're already like taking in so much at once, and you're so far away from home, so far out of your comfort zone, and then at school you have to push yourself even more. Are you kidding me? I remember I was thinking, but no, I'm not. You have to, yeah, ask people to have lunch with you. Like, you have to be the instigator and go out of your comfort zone even more, even though it's super exhausting.
This is optional again, but ask where people live, because then you know if people live close to you and you can hang after school when you get to that. It's just gonna be easier if you know where people live. Where I went, we had one school, and then there were 3 little villages outside, like 3 towns, and they all had high school together. So then you knew that if people lived in your town, then it was very easy to hang. Like, you didn't need a car, you didn't need to get a ride somewhere, you could just walk to their house, you know. And then at the end of the day, make sure to sign up for sports and clubs and everything you want to be in. Obviously you have a couple of days to do this, and more sports and clubs will show up throughout the year, but it's good to start browsing as soon as you can, because if you go to a big high school, there's going to be hundreds of things to be in, and if you go to a small high school, then you could probably be in absolutely everything, and I was in 12 things. So as long as you have time to do everything and practices don't like overlap, then I would do as much as I possibly can, because you might just start doing something that you might think is weird, but then you like it. Like I didn't know you could compete in speech, and I've never done it before. It sounded kind of nerdy, but then I did it, and it was actually quite fun.
And again, if your reality of the first day doesn't meet your expectations, it's fine. You have another week, another like 10 months to figure this out.
I think that what you need to keep in mind is that it doesn't have to be great. The first day of school is usually never great. It doesn't have to be bad, but I mean, don't put the expectations up in the roof. Be okay with things taking a bit of time, but also don't leave anything for the universe, or like don't leave anything untouched. Like you are responsible for your year, so put a lot of effort into it, but also be patient with the outcome and try to set up contacts in advance so that you have some people to go to. Also make sure that you read through the school's rules and regulations so that you can fit in pretty well. Do some research about the fashion in America, ask other exchange students, look on YouTube. I think the more prepared you can be, the better it's gonna go. But after all, the first day of school doesn't really have more importance than a random day at American high school. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just have fun. Remember that you are living your dream right now in America on your exchange year, and you have nothing to lose. Talk to everyone you want to talk to. Do crazy stuff, like challenge yourself, get yourself out there, because you're living in a dream world and you're going back. So I just want to tell you to have fun with it, and don't forget that it really isn't that serious. Good luck, and I really hope that it's going to be a great exchange year for whoever is watching this.